Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This would be a voiceover video because I thought of sharing some information about gouache and which it would be difficult for me to type throughout the video. And I'm so sorry that if you find some disturbances in the voiceover because I'm not using a very high quality microphone, I'm just using my regular headphone. But I'll make sure to give all the information that you need for creating realistic as well as abstract portraits using gouache. I am using Himi Gouache twin cup set, which I got it from Amazon. It has 36 bright vibrant colors in total, and that's why I got a twin cup set instead of a single cup. But the quantity is really very less and it will not last for long for me. If you're a beginner, then you can go with twin cup set because you will get so much colors and they are really affordable. You can use either a palette knife or a brush to mix the colors, but while mixing them, make sure that you're not staining the neighboring cup. I'm using a brush to mix the colors in the palette. I just use my normal brush to take the colors from the scoop. I apply it on the palette and mix them. But if you're a beginner and if you're afraid of staining the colors in the neighboring cups, then you can use your palette knife. This is the consistency that I'm maintaining throughout the painting, which is not so watery, not so thick. Because if you're layering your gouache paint, then if it's so watery or if it's so thick, it will mess up your painting. So this is the portrait which I have chosen to paint in realism. So I'm adding a very light base layer so that if I add additional layers on top of it, the paint should not come out of it, because gouache is water reactant, and if the base layer is very thick, then you will end up in removing the paint, or if you're going to add so many layers to it. So maintain the consistency throughout the painting so that you can add as much layer as you want. The reference picture for this painting is from a movie scene. The reason why I chose that is that I thought that jelly gouache is only meant for illustrations and not for realistic style. I just wanted to check whether I could bring more natural skin colors using jelly gouache. As you can see that the colors mix pretty well, and we can bring about any skin color using the available colors from the Himi Gouache palette. It may be dark skin tone, brown skin tone, or light, anything it may be. Blending is not possible like watercolors. You have to just layer the colors one above the other. If you find any hard brush strokes, then you can use the same color to blend the edges, or you can use any lighter or darker color, but it should not be very dark or light. It can be 1 or 2% lighter or darker. I feel that the Himi gouache is very light because I have added so many layers to this painting, but the paper did not bend or leak the paint behind the paper. It's a very normal sketchbook and it's not watercolor or mixed media based, so I would suggest that you can use any sketchbook for using Himi gouache. So the next try would be a more abstract style. So in this I'm not going to add too much layer for the skin. I'm going to make the brushstrokes more visible. Even though we are not doing a realistic portrait here, we must maintain the resemblance of the original picture which we have taken as reference, because it should not end up looking like someone else at the end. You just copy their basic traits like their eyes, their eyebrows, or their hair, and copy that in your style so that it will not end up in frustration that your portrait did not do well or it did not look like the person um, in the reference, because we are doing stylized or abstract version. It's not a realistic version, so it will not look like the exact same picture which you have taken as reference. I'm just adding brush strokes to make it look like her, and I'm not blending to make it more realistic. And the same goes for the dress. Since I have tried two different styles of portraits, now I'm going to check how quickly I can complete a portrait using gouache. I'm following a very casual abstract style in this portrait. I'm not going to make it more realistic. So you could see the brushstrokes and the variations in colors in this portrait, and it will not be so realistic. Just in order to check how quickly I can complete a portrait using gouache. The first portrait took me around 3 hours to complete, and the second one was like 45 to 50 minutes, and this one I completed in 30 minutes overall. Portrait realism will take more time. The longer the time it takes, the more realistic the portraits turn into. For beginners, those who are trying portraits for the first time, I would suggest to go with abstract or stylized version than realism, because realistic portraits will take longer time than usual, and if you're not ending up in the result which you wanted, then you will end up in frustration, and you will not, maybe sometimes you will not try to do another portrait. So I would recommend or suggest you to take a sketchbook and draw smaller portraits of half an hour or 1 hour portraits maybe, where you can easily learn your mistakes and then try not to commit them the next time. You can take 5 different portraits or even more depending upon your study, and once you're comfortable with them and once you have learned all the basics of the portraits, then you can switch to realism. Wash is more beginner friendly, so anyone who is trying portraits for the first time can directly try using them. I have linked the materials which I have used in this video in the description below. You can start drawing more portraits using gouache, and I think that this video was quite useful. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.